engage, disrupt, adapt, repeat. You're listening to Pure Reinvention, the podcast for curious people.
Welcome to episode 135 of the Pure Reinvention podcast, where we create space for the unexpected by inspiring a reinvention lifestyle. Will, it has been a phenomenal month for the message Simplify and the guests that we've had and the takeaways that were available.
Absolutely. It's been an exciting month, and I'm kind of glad I really pushed myself on you to co-host this month because I did. I really wanted to talk about it and the concepts of experiential marketing and branding. And
this is one where Will is very passionate.
I'm passionate about it, and I enjoy it, and it's also one that I've had to do a lot of work in developing myself. So,
well, let's talk about that for a minute, Will, as using you as an example. Talk a little bit about how someone has to get ready to be open to the concept of simplification. Because that was the journey you went through.
Absolutely. And, we talked about it last week about listening to yourself and taking a step back, where Doug was talking about it, and we kind of expanded it out to listening to your relatives and friends and, personal life. And I did some degree did that and took a mild, minor retreat for a few months and wanted to get in touch with my passions and listen to yourself. We often do this chase where we go get the degree, go get this attainment, go get that because that's what's expected. And to often take a step back and go, well, yeah, that's what other people expect. What's being true to yourself? What makes you passionate? And often I didn't ask myself that question. And so I needed to spend some time asking myself that question before I could really go ahead and connect again. And so a way I was elaborately simplifying my life and what I could do and where I was directing my energies rather than throwing out and going where I thought other people thought I should be going.
This week's episode is sponsored by HRM Services, providing solutions that work. HRMS provides customized human resource consulting services to fit the unique needs of their clients. Every client has a story, and they make it their business to learn yours. Contact HRM Services today at 517-974-8033 or visit their website at hrmservices.biz.
The tendency is to go complex. The reality is the answers are when we go simplification. And this month we've had such a lineup of individuals who have been reminding us of how important the simplification process is. If you remember, Judge Rosen talked about with the Detroit bankruptcy, the importance of simplification, whether it's messaging and branding. With what Wieland is doing and what Kevin Shaw talked about, simplification came up. The strategic plan that Drew Mitchell at the Clinton County Economic Alliance. Every key executive, Jim Knight, when talking about the experiential, that we have become unfortunately, perhaps become used to mediocrity. Now, the good news in that, Will, is that since we're used to mediocrity, just think when something
It's not hard to beat the competition.
When something powerful comes up.
Absolutely, and that's why you've got kids that are sitting outside in Ann Arbor and Stanford and East Lansing that are developing the next widget that are going to run circles around us, and where the passion is, and so you've always got to be aware of that.
I think that the simplification concept for most people becomes the pivot point. Yes. The understanding that it's not about continuous administration the same way. The understanding that it is not about price, but in a world that appears to be full of mediocrity, how we are able to really focus on creating whatever that experience is. Detroit has done a magnificent job of creating a new vibe. Out of necessity, by the way. This was not intentional.
There goes a disruption.
Very unintentional. And for many, the answers come in a more unintentional way. But think of the opportunity when we do it intentionally. In fact, I'll give you a little heads up. I had a chance to talk to one of the developers of the new arena district in Detroit, the Illich project. Most people think of it as a new arena. I want to remind people that this is a 52-block development. It is more than just an arena. It is about the total experience. And you will be amazed as you learn more about how they are creating an environment in this 52-block dynamic that is a total experience. And that goes back to what Jim Knight taught us about what they're doing with Hard Rock, that people are attracted to, right? Gravitate towards, want to be a part of something that has such a great experience.
Well, again, it always goes down to is designing the service, designing the product that fit the customer needs, and then being willing to stay in tune with that core target audience and evolve with them rather than getting married to the service or the technology or whatever it is in your repertoire, the feature. If you're focusing on the customer rather than the feature, you're going to be okay.
Whether it's Experience Grand Rapids or the new Illich project in downtown Detroit, they're moving away from the single event concept to creating the total experience. And any executive in any industry can follow that pattern. So if you're ready for a change, make it a change that lasts. Make it Pure Reinvention.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Pure Reinvention. Keep the conversation going and get alerts when new podcasts are up by following us on Twitter at Pure Reinvention or sign up for our mailing list at purereinvention.com.